All right. Mic check, check. Good. So I'm Max Duran. CWB Association Welding podcast. Today we have a really cool guest. Welding podcast.
The show is about to begin.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of the CWB Association podcast. My name is Max Duran, and today we have a special edition leading up to our Educators Conference, which is coming up June 1st and 2nd. So for the people that are listening and have always tuned in, I want to let you guys know that we have a super special event coming up. It's something that we've done every year face-to-face, and this year we're doing it virtually. And we've done lots of really cool new things to try to get the support and bandwidth that we're trying to get out to the audiences. So the background is that the Educators Conference is specifically a group of people getting together to educate educators. So we got people from industry, we got people from different business units here at CWB, including the foundation and education learning resources. And we're all going to be getting together to do sessions for high school and post-secondary trainers. Also new this year, on the second day, we're going to have a special area called the Student Experience, where we're inviting for the first time ever students to come join the Educators Conference, where they can see some live demos of builds, some programs that are specific to students in terms of scholarships, and also some success stories from some really cool people that are in the industry that have some great pointers for students getting into the trades. Now, today I have Anthony here with me from Xiris, and Anthony is here to talk about one of the awesome giveaways that we got going on that they are sponsoring for us, and they are our lead sponsor for the Educators Conference this year. So, hey, Anthony, how's it going?
Hey, Max. It's going well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So for people that have been paying attention to the podcast, Anthony was on the podcast early on in the run. Let's see. I think I got the list here. Do you know you were my 18th guest, and I think we're at 40 now. So
Nice.
so you were there representing Xiris and the camera technology that you guys use. Now, from that conversation, we led into how Xiris can get involved with supporting, the Canadian welding segment, and I guess students and schools and welders across the country. And we got into, you guys helping us out at the Educators Conference.
Yep.
So Anthony, tell me, what is it that you guys are offering up? What is this package? It's all over social media, and people have been sending me emails and texts being like, well, what exactly is it? So give the rundown of what the package exactly is.
So we've kind of got a cool contest going on. It's actually a first in Xiris history to actually give away a camera. People always joke about, can we just get a camera for free? And are you guys going to do a giveaway? But so finally, we're actually going to give away a camera. So one of our sales guys came up with this, and it's pretty exciting to give away a camera. And we're running this contest. So basically, we're going to give away one of our educators kits, and what that will include is one of our cameras, and everything you'll need to set it up. So you got your mounting, your power, your data lines, different optics. So this package will contain different lenses and spacers, so you can kind of use it for what you want and set it up differently every time, like if you want to. So it's a really good package. I actually have one of these myself, and I use it to demo and just take videos of different welds. So it'll be everything you need in the Pelican case, so you can carry it around, and then it'll also come with free training, either by myself or some other person from the Xiris team. Will either do it online, or maybe if things are a little better, we can do it in person. We'll train the whole school how to use everything and kind of give you all that. And and then we're actually going to give away a few swag bags as well for some of the students at the school. So whatever school wins this, they're going to get this really nice package, and all of this is kind of like $15,000 worth of stuff we're giving away. So it's kind of exciting to do that.
And and Xiris has been super accommodating to us, and they actually did a presentation for one of our chapters here in Canada, and we did some demos and some videos. So if you are curious about what the camera looks like and how the setup is, this the same package setup that you used when you did our Xiris night, with the Regina
Yep.
chapter?
Yeah, so we did that night, and I did show that camera. So it's a little silver one. It's about an inch square. It's a little tiny guy, and then it comes with all the different stuff that you can connect to it. It's modular. You have lighting, cooling, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, it was shown, and typically, if you've seen this camera at other schools that do have it, it's the exact same one. So that's the exact camera that we're giving away.
Okay, now for the schools that are looking to enter, and I'll reiterate this: this is any high school or post-secondary or even private training center. If you teach welding, you can get in on this contest. But for the people that are looking to enter now and they're getting excited about this chance to win this awesome, piece of equipment from you guys, from your experience, what would be some of the best ways to use this? Like if you're looking at a school and they're coming to you and say, "Man, we just won this awesome prize.
Yeah.
Show us what's the best way for us to really get this integrated into our curriculum."
So there's lots of ways to use it. Like the ways I've seen, it's kind of up to your imagination. What do you want to use the camera for? Some schools will just want to have it as a live demonstration tool. So they'll actually have the instructor welding live, and all the students. Say if there's a lot of students and you can't really put them in the booth, they'll have it on a large TV screen behind them, so everyone can see exactly what's going on. Um, some schools will use it as a teaching tool to show the do's and don'ts. So they'll have a collection of this is your perfect technique. They'll have ones that are this is what students usually do. So they'll have a collection of videos. They'll like to make like a collection of videos of like them welding and stuff like that. They'll also do things like watching the students regression through the semester. So every like maybe week they'll take a weld, and you can kind of see through the videos the student progressing through the semester of welding. So you can see their technique getting better and better each week. So it's kind of like up to you what you want to do with it. I've just seen so many things. I've seen where a school has put one camera in each booth, and then the instructor just sits in his office and he watches all of them on his monitors, just watching what everyone's doing. It's kind
You know,
of
I,
like up to the imagination what you want to do with
mhm.
it, and that's kind of the cool thing about this camera. I've seen so many people go, "Oh, can I do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've never thought of that one before." And it's just kind of cool. You can do so many different things. So it's up to your imagination where you want to apply the camera in schools.
And
So
I love those ideas. I love those thoughts because as a teacher for many years, it was if you could see every student welding at the same time, number one, you'd know who's slacking off.
yeah,
Because if you got 12 students and you got 12 monitors, and only 10 are lit up, then you know that two aren't welding. So that's number one from the disciplinarian point of view. But also, you'd be able to, pull recordings from that and be like, wow, okay, let's run a bead. And you could use it as a teaching tool. Like I would almost put that up in front of the classroom and be like, "Hey, everyone, let's look at student X's weld today. What do you think we could do better? What is it? What are they doing great? What can we improve on?" Because I've learned over the years that I can show a student 100 times how to do a weld, and sometimes it's just not sinking in. But when they can see it for themselves, from another point of view, or even another student takes a look at it and they go, "Oh, well, maybe if you change this up,"
yeah.
it's always good to have a different perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you can see, and then like you can do the weld, and then someone could tell you. But if someone could show you, and you could see it on screen, and they could kind of walk it through you with you, then you could. It makes it a lot easier to learn. Even me, like as someone when I joined the company, I wasn't a welder or anything. I learned everything I know about welding from working at Xiris, and now I've been to places they've let me weld. I've kind of got the hang of it. It's kind of cool. It's awesome, and then you can see it in the video. It's like, oh, you have too much stick out, or you're not close enough. Like you can see exactly in the video, and from that, I learned kind of welding that way as well. So if I can learn welding that way, then a student who already kind of knows stuff about welding will learn that much more from seeing it in a video.
And you bring up stick out and stuff like that. So this camera package, is it good for all types of welding, like a TIG, MIG, stick, everything?
Yeah, so we have this package, and it's kind of for schools, and that we've designed it that way. So you could use it for TIG, MIG, stick, like whatever you're doing, you can kind of customize the camera for that setup. Even if you like say one day you want to see the whole coupon, if you're doing a stick weld, you can make the view wide so you can see all of it. Or if you're doing a TIG weld, you could make the view really close, up close, so you can see everything that's going on. It's really customizable, and yeah, it's good for a lot of different applications. So whatever you want to kind of throw at it, it can handle, and you can customize it to your liking.
And let's say that out of all these awesome people that are going to be entering all these great schools across Canada that are going to try to get in on this, let's say they win and they're kind of unsure about, how it fits into their existing program. Is it hard to set up? Is it easy to set up? Does it require a lot of, downtime in between setups, or is it pretty straightforward?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We have a lot of, if you win this, you'll kind of get access to our support center. They'll give you all the guides, training videos. Like you'll get all of that, plus you'll get like personal training from somebody from Xiris. But it's pretty easy. I demo the camera all the time. I go to different schools, different companies. It takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes to set it up. And we're just often in welding, like in just a few minutes. People think it takes a while to set up, but it's really pretty easy.
And then what kind of gear would the schools need to have just so that they know, like they'll need a laptop or a computer, they'll need the software. You guys probably offer the software with it, or
Yeah,
yeah.
the software is included for free with every camera purchase. So we have two different softwares. One's for like a touch screen, and one is more like not touchscreen, but it's all you get more features out of it. The
Mhm.
So you get both of those, and yeah, that's the only thing they'll really need is a computer. So we just say any modern laptop. Usually schools have like laptops and stuff around anyway. So
Yeah,
you just kind of take the camera, plug it into the laptop, load up the software, and you're good to go.
and you're good to go. And now in terms of the upkeep and maintenance, that's something people are probably going to be a little bit afraid of.
Mhm.
Like you think about this fancy piece of equipment and you're careful with it and you're like, "Oh man." But also you're in a school with a bunch of students that are super excited and sometimes things happen, like durability wise, maintenance wise, is there any like tips and tricks for the winner?
It's pretty robust, the system, and we get a lot of that. They try to be careful because it's expensive. It's a nice camera, but really, and they're worried about how close you can put it. Honestly, if you can put the camera you can put it as close as you want. It's built to take spatter. It's built to take like abuse and stuff like that. Um, the only thing you'd really want to change is we have the little spatter shields. You can change that every once in a while, just so it looks clean. The video looks clean. But it's made to take the abuse. It even has like cooling in it, which most schools don't need because you're not running 24/7, but it's got cooling. You can do air or water. It's, uh, the main point is a pretty robust camera, and I don't think that's something to really worry about.
Well, that's good. And
Yeah.
it's not like a GoPro though. Like you can't just be running around with it, can you?
No, no, it's not. It's it's actually the camera itself. The little silver guy is kind of the same size as a GoPro, maybe slightly bigger, but it's not a GoPro. It's actually more robust than a GoPro. And you know how you can like kind of toss around a GoPro too, right? So,
Yeah.
but you
And but
can't
it needs
weld in
to
front of in a GoPro.
yeah, it needs to be, like, in a static location, right, for it to take proper video?
Yeah, because you kind of adjust all the optics and you kind of manually focus it, so it usually stays in like a static position. But I've seen some places they'll actually mount it on like a track system or something, so then it'll move as you're like manually welding. So again, like I said, the imagination just takes over and people come up with cool things.
Well, my old welding program at SAS Poly, I shouldn't say old 'cause I still kinda head there sometimes, but, they got some robots, right? Now it's always like, "Can you mount this thing to the end of a robot and just have it, like, moving around?"
Oh yeah, for sure. We have like tons of these cameras mounted to robots, and that's kind of one of my favorite applications because I just think robots are cool. So you just like have the camera on the robot with the torch, and it's like going around doing all the welds, and it's pretty cool to see a video of that.
And okay, so now the contest is running. So for people that don't know, you go to our CWB Association website, you enter in there, and there's some prerequisites, right? So it's not like just like, hey, I'm a teacher in blah 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 Ontario. Give me the camera. What's the process? Like, what do you guys? There's a little bit of a hoop to jump through, which I think is a fun hoop. But
Yeah, and
what do
so
you, what are you guys asking?
basically, we're just asking. So like we just want to hear in like maybe a video or some pictures, like why is your school deserving of a weld camera? So we're not looking for anything specific. We just want to see maybe be creative, like be like, oh, we're the best, and that's why we want to keep being the best. Or maybe like, oh, we have the worst setup. I don't know. What? Just use your imagination and be creative, and like just uh, just give us a cool reason why you would like to have this and why your school deserves to win it. And then, yeah, make it like a little video, show us what your current setup kind of looks like, and we'll kind of choose what we think is the most deserving school for a weld camera.
And just to make sure everyone knows, the CWB Association, we're not picking the winner. So kissing up to us isn't going to get you any closer to that camera. It's Anthony and the people at Xiris that are going to be picking, and I'm sure they have a very democratic method of picking. And I don't even want to know, because I don't even want to have any, like, inside knowledge about what to do, because I'm a part of some colleges here in Saskatchewan, and I'm telling them to get in on the contest, because, like, I mean, who doesn't want a super cool welding camera in a welding lab? Like, there's some colleges in Canada that have them, and I've always been super jelly, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then all we do ask other than that is to kind of follow us on social media too. So your Twitter, your Facebook, Instagram, that stuff's all listed there on the CWB page. So follow us on there, enter your school, and we'll just take a look at the entries and see who we think deserves to get a welding camera.
And the big reveal is going to be on the second day of the educators conference, and we've actually talked about this, because, like, we've thought, well, maybe we should do it on the first day when all the teachers are there, but it's like, no, we should do it on the second day when all the teachers and the students are there, because then some of
Yeah,
the students that put in the applications will be in
yeah,
attendance, and that's pretty pumped, like, it'd be like, oh my god, we won this awesome thing.
yeah. That'll be awesome. Yeah, the students will be pretty pumped. Like I go to schools and stuff, and students are usually pretty pumped about the camera. And sometimes they ask me, it's like, how much? I want to buy one. These are awesome. But then I tell them the price.
And that's a few lunches you got to save
Yeah.
up, right?
So to win one will
So
be awesome.
the school, that gets in on this and wins, and they go through the hoops. They get it set up. You guys do the training, and everything's running awesome. You know what what kind of scalability is it? Like, going down the road to the school now, because you know what, schools, when they get equipment, and I'll tell you this from experience to all the educators out there, you get equipment, you get more students. Your programs get popular because of the level of education you can offer them, and having a welding camera, ups your game, right? And especially for things when you're looking at skills competitions and stuff like that, these are tools that make you have better welders. Now, they come back and they say, we want to get a second camera, third camera, fourth camera. Do they all work together? Are they all scalable with each other? Is this something
Yeah,
that someone could do?
yeah, it's a pretty scalable system. So you can run, like, usually on modern systems, you can run two cameras on one system. So you could actually have two cameras on one system. So you just plug in another one, and you're kind of good to go. If you get different models, they all just work together. Like, all the software and all the different cameras work together, so you can kind of use them interchangeably, mix and match. We even have an audio module, which we find is pretty good for education, because then you can hear the sounds of welding, especially in MIG. You hear that nice sizzle.
Hmm.
Um, so we have lots of different stuff that works all together as well. Like, we have different cameras. We have another model that kind of has uh, all of the focus motors and lights kind of built into like an all-in-one package. That one's even more robust than the one we're giving away. And then we also have like a cell view camera, so kind of watches like a wide area. So like maybe a few welding booths. So that's kind of like a aerial camera. So we have all
Like,
different stuff.
you should call that one the Big Brother camera.
Yeah, the Big Brother. We call it the cell view. But all our stuff works interchangeably and it scales nicely. So if you wanted to add more stuff to your system, that's no problem.
And that's great, and I think it's super fun. I've been trying to get a camera at the college I worked at for a while. It's always been tough to get, because sometimes other pieces of equipment seem like more urgent, like, a bigger need immediately. But every program that I've go to that's like award winning and doing some crazy stuff, they all have cameras, and there's
Yeah.
quite a few optics, camera companies in Canada that are really making strides. And I think this is an awesome niche market that Canada should be proud of. Companies like Xiris that are doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, and then, as you guys move forward in your company now, like, I think it's awesome you're getting involved with this, supporting associations like us, not for profit membership based associations, that we can get out there and we can support the schools. What's kind of Xiris's game plan? Like, outside of this, are you guys looking at getting involved with more programs across Canada? Are you guys developing some education stuff? Like, where's Xiris going now?
We try to get in with like everybody. Like we're in education, we're in like manufacturing, we have cameras in aerospace. We kind of just people actually kind of come to us and they have like ideas. It's like, oh, we never knew that they could use cameras in this industry, and then we'll kind of just keep. We kind of find that we keep expanding into different markets and different things, and even outside of welding, like anything, pretty much anything really bright, this camera is really good for because it has the high dynamic range sensor, and that's why it's good for welding. And that's kind of
Mhm.
the primary place that we use it. But we've used it on other things that are really bright. We actually had the camera and we pointed up like at the solar like eclipse and stuff, so that you can see it with that because it can take in all that light. So
I was literally about to ask you that if you could use it to
yep,
watch the solar
exactly.
eclipse.
Yeah, anything really bright, that's what it's meant for, and it can take it. As where like if you had a GoPro and you pointed at the sun for long enough, it would just like kind of break the camera.
Well, let me tell you, as a guy who's used old cell phones with glass lenses strapped to it with elastic bands to take welding videos,
Yeah.
that doesn't work that great.
Yeah. Yeah, we've tried that too. Like, we wanna see is, like, what does it look like if you're we've put, like, different cell phone cameras through, like, welding shades, welding helmets, different kind
Hmm.
of things, and yeah,
It
it's not the
never really
greatest.
works. You get a
Yeah.
weird like double image there. It doesn't work
Yeah.
out.
Or you get it's all dark and you just get the little spot. It's just like when you're looking through it, and that's kind of what you see sometimes.
Now, can you and this is actually someone asked me this the other day and I forgot, but can you guys live stream or is it possible? Like let's say we're on a Zoom call and I have the camera set up to my computer. Can I broadcast that through virtual? Because that's where schools are at now. And we don't know where COVID's going. So maybe
Mhm.
an instructor can get access to the campus and run some live welds for students. Is that something that's doable or do they have to be pre-recorded?
No, for sure. Like that's actually one question that we've gotten a lot over the last year because people are trying to get their programs going and they can't have all the students in. So they've come to us and say, hey, can we live stream this over Zoom or Teams or something? And the answer is like, yes. We just honestly, if you just screen share, just like we're in a Teams call right now. If I hit
Hmm.
screen share and I had Weld Studio running, that's the name of our software. I could honestly show you my Weld Studio screen and then just start welding, and if I had a weld mic, I could just talk right over it, and it's pretty awesome. Like we've had a bunch of schools do that, and I've actually because I usually go out and I do camera demos for different companies, but I can't really do that right now. So I myself have done that. I've sent them a camera, they hooked it all up, no problem, and then all I did was we had a call, and they just started welding. I could see everything they're doing, so like it's pretty cool. And another cool thing, like if remotely that I've been doing, so they set it all up. I remote into their computer so I can have control. So then I can actually do all the little controls for them and show them and walk them through everything. But yeah, it works really well as a tool to show someone online. So I've watched so many w- demo like welds from like right where I am right now, just at home watching people weld, and it's kind of crazy that it works so good.
All right, that's good. And I think that's all the information I need from you guys. I really wanted to just set this time aside so that people know and can get some of the questions answered that they've asked me. And honestly, it's better coming from you guys, the source of this great equipment and technology. And we're so happy to partner with Canadian companies that are doing these innovative things, and that's part of what the association's about. And we aren't a partisan group. We're not like hey, just buy Xiris, because that's not the thing. And you guys don't expect that from us either. Even going into the educators conference, we talked about there's going to be lots of different sponsors and suppliers, and everyone gets along because it's about supporting the Canadian industry. And that's something that, in order to support the Canadian industry, you have to support the welders and you have to support the companies, and you have to really let them connect. And all we're doing here in the association is helping you guys connect with your target audience, which in this for this example is schools, right?
Yeah. We wanna connect with as many people as we can. We'll connect with anybody. Like, you guys reach out to us, we'll see what we can do, you know?
Awesome. And make sure that you guys register for the educators conference. You don't have to be a teacher. Anyone can register, right? So don't get turned off by the name. Just be aware that this is an education forum. So that means that when you come to the sessions, they're all going to be based about how to teach, new concepts of teaching, different ways to do classroom setups, different ways to learn. And so it's going to be about education, But if you are a welder or you're a person out there in industry and you just have an interest in education or would like to ask questions or know about how instructors teach and weld and the techniques and the supports and technologies, that's what the Educators Conference is for. So, Anthony, thank you for taking this time and explaining this to us.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun like always.
Yeah, it's always fun. And make sure you guys register and enter the contest. And always, if you have any questions, reach out to us at the association through social media or through our website. And you can also reach out to Xiris. Their information is all there as well on our association page, and get those applications in. We're only 4 weeks out as of the recording of this. When this gets broadcast, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 weeks out. So make sure you're in on it and you get to it. I think the cutoff for applications, do you have the website in front of you? I think it's like a few days before.
Yeah,
So I
something
think
like that. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, it's about that.
so you can't just enter the day before, because Xiris needs time to go over all the applications and pick the winner. So make sure you get everything in before, I think, the 3rd week of May. So we're down to the nitty gritty here, guys. And Anthony, I'm sure we'll talk again in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And thanks everyone for tuning in for another special edition of the CWB Association podcast. This one specifically about the Educators Conference. Stay tuned to all our regular programming. And I hope today answered a lot of questions for you guys and you guys had some fun. So I'm sure we'll talk soon and we'll be around. So thanks a lot.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to the CWB Association Welding Podcast with Max Saron. If you enjoyed what you heard today, rate our podcast and visit us at cwbassociation.org to learn more. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions or suggestions on what you'd like to learn about in the future. Produced by the CWB Group and presented by Max Saron. This podcast serves to educate and connect the welding community. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening.